It's another episode of the weekly business roundup, and as usual, we thank you for being our loyal audience. I'm your host, Wadulo Arnold, and without further ado, let's get to the highlights. Parliament unanimously objects the move to merge the National Information Technology Authority. Uganda being removed from the grey list is a big win, says the Finance Minister, Matia Kasaija. Uganda Development Bank releases its 2023 annual performance, showing significant growth in total assets. And in our BRU interview, we talked to Cecilia Kengoro, an investment specialist at the Private Sector Foundation, on the expectations of the PSFU Women Katali 2024. With all these and more, stay tuned. It's time for business. Uganda being dropped from the Financial Action Task Force's grey list is a big win and milestone for the nation, says Matia Kasaija, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Uganda had been under close scrutiny for several years when the Financial Action Task Force highlighted the risk of money laundering and terrorist financing.
The Financial Action Task Force is a global intergovernmental body entrusted with the responsibility of ensuring governments combat various financial threats, including money laundering, terrorist financing, and proliferation risks. Matia Kasaija, the Finance Minister, emphasized the importance of this development, highlighting its potential to enhance confidence in Uganda's economy and attract more foreign direct investment.
We have passed an important milestone on our pathway to prosperity. Uganda is off the FATF grey list, and our financial system is growing from strength to strength. Let us celebrate this achievement and continue our efforts to deliver socio-economic transformation for all Ugandans. Congratulations, Ugandans and Uganda. We hope this now milestone is put aside and we will see progress in terms of financial dealings.
During a plenary meeting held on February 23rd in Paris, France, Uganda's satisfactory implementation of all identified deficiencies led to its removal from the list of countries at risk of illicit money flows.
When the assessment was done on Uganda, there were some deficiencies which the minister outlined, to which the government of Uganda was working with FATF to ensure that those weaknesses are addressed. Just like the minister also indicated, some of them required amendment of our laws, putting in system capacities to train our staff, both law enforcement, and also to ensure that the issues we are raising of beneficial ownership, the ultimate beneficiaries of the companies are known. All these reforms have been done.
Henry Musasizi, State Minister of Finance for General Duties, underlined that failure to address these deficiencies would have posed a risk of Uganda being blacklisted.
The dirty money cannot be allowed to pass through our system. We have a task force, the anti-money laundering task force. It has been working, but we want to strengthen to ensure that it is efficient, to ensure that it fast tracks and monitors all possibilities of backsliding and ensure that they don't happen again.
With Uganda now off the grey list, the country pledges to maintain its positive momentum by implementing a post-grey list strategy, ensuring continued progress in combating financial crimes. This development signifies commitment to upholding global standards of financial integrity.
Parliament unanimously objected the move to merge the National Information Technology Authority with the Ministry of Information, Communication and National Guidance. The MPs based their move on the justification that the information supporting the merger was insufficient. Let's have a look with Daniel Mugoya.
I don't want somebody to go and say there was no quorum. We have the quorum.
A wide range of observations from the Parliamentary Committee on information, communications and national guidance saved the Uganda National Information Technology Authority (NITAU) from being merged with its mother ministry.
The committee further examined how NITAU affects the national treasury, national mandate, how it performs, and its importance in the role of achieving government development goals, and whether this role is being performed by any other entity.
The report of the ICT committee highly opposes disbanding the NITAU Act, with a projection that the move would highly have a negative impact, causing disruption to critical government systems such as electronic migration, performance budget and government payment.
2024-2025, it is projected that NITAU will generate 64 billion.
The House caught government offside on information to demonstrate the financial drain caused by NITAU on the consolidated fund, demonstration of roles between the Minister of ICT, UTCL and NITAU, and claiming that the government, before the establishment of NITAU, failed to deliver the respective functions.
The lack of oversight over the performance of the functions currently performed by NITAU, if NITAU is mainstreamed with the ministry, and that will be acting like a judge and a jury.
The Minister for Public Service, Arnold Wadulo, tried tooth and nail to convince the House to accord government more time to address the demands, but in vain.
We need more time to gather all that evidence that is required, so that the committee can have
there's a procedure matter.
In view of the fact that we have found out that the study was not done qualitatively and qualitatively.
At this point, the MPs supported the motion to close the debate on the NITAU Amendment Bill 2024 and proceed for the second reading.
At a personal level, I support rationalization and a smaller government. But for them to roll back the huge structure they have created, they need to do it systematically. They need to look for the right justification. They are now doing it like a mob, because we should have debated for everybody to appreciate.
But the bill collapsed at its second reading. However, Minister Arnold Wadulo says the move by Parliament temporarily stays NITAU until the same bill is reprocessed.
When we have retabled and we have had further engagements with the information which is required and it's factual, yes, government will be in position to retable this bill. Yes. Saying that the bill does not proceed for the second reading means that further discussion of Parliament at that time regarding the bill which has been presented stops.
The Member of Parliament for Shima Municipality, Dickson Kateshumbwa, says government failed to adhere to Parliament's request to implement the rationalization process in a phased manner.
There seems to be no savings to talk about. You are just transferring functions to here, from here to here, and recreating almost the same process. Secondly, rationalization, the rationale is for enhancing efficiency. But we have seen that some of the agencies that are being targeted to be rationalized have been fairly efficient.
The environment, showcased on Wednesday's plenary, paints a picture on the forthcoming bills, intending to foster the process of the rationalization of government agencies.
The debate in Parliament, it appears there are some institutions that MPs want to save and others they don't want to save. If they don't want NITAU to go, they will give all the reasons. When you give the same reasons for the archives, they say, no, it should go away. So I am really also confused.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gwitabinji, UBC News.
Uganda Development Bank's gross loans disbursement in the year 2023 grew by 21%, while its total assets rose by 8%, marked with a rollout of new initiatives towards supporting the private sector. the bank had its performance results announced in Mubende. The country's National Development Finance Institution has released its 2023 unaudited results, which indicate an 8% growth in assets from 1.52 trillion shillings in 2022 to 1.64 trillion shillings last year.
Climate finance is at the center of most of sustainable businesses, and I think it is features a lot in topical issues, not just in the country but globally. The bank set up a climate finance facility. The intention is to capitalize it with 50 billion shillings.
UDB reports a slight uptick of 5% in borrowing and grants, reaching 245 billion shillings from 232 billion shillings in December 2022. At least 466.5 billion shillings was collected in loan repayments and reinvested to fund disbursements to various enterprises during the year.
We approved loans worth 691 billion shillings, and these loans are meant to support 201 projects spread all over the country. These projects are expected to generate 18,558 jobs.
The bulk of this approved funding targeted the industry sector, with 409 billion approved to this sector alone. A sum of 19 billion was allocated to fund primary agriculture activities, while 223 billion was approved to boost the infrastructure sector.
When UDB comes up to finance projects in the sector, you are helping us to lower the cost of electricity and also to lower the tariff.
This Sabo Nkonge solar line facility is among UDB's green financing beneficiaries, which is expected to generate 22.7 megawatts of solar electricity to be sold to government through Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited at 7 cents per kilowatt hour on the national grid.
It will be interconnected along the 142 kV, as you've heard, Kabulasoke Nkonge transmission line, and will largely serve electricity consumers connected to that line, the Nkonge and Kabulasoke substations.
This makes the subgroup part of a growth agenda to build resilience, catalyze sustainable growth, and promote net zero economic transition in Uganda and indeed across Africa as the world economy moves towards a low carbon future.
Wadulo Mark Arnold for UBC Business. The private sector foundation Uganda is taking its third edition of the Women's Day Katale to Jinja City in eastern Uganda. Now, this Women's Day Katale is slated for March 15th to 17th under the theme Bridging Economic Divides from Women's Prosperity.
So welcome to the Business Roundup special edition, and this is where we discuss about trending issues or stories, and this time round we are focusing on the Women Katale event, and we do have a lady and she's going to introduce herself.
Thank you for having me. My name is Cecilia Kengoro Mutabanura. I am the Partnerships and Engagement Specialist at Private Sector Foundation Uganda.
Cecilia, let's first of all decode the Women Katale. I know this is the third edition. Okay. So a little bit, just give us an insight on the first one, the second one, what were they focusing on, and this one, the third one that will be taking place in Jinja, what is the agenda, or what is the topical issue that we'll be tackling?
Okay. So Katale is a marketplace, as it says in the name, but it's not just any marketplace. It's a marketplace for ladies, for women, which celebrates them in what I would call a business unusual fashion. So what we are doing here is, yes, bring your business, and if you must, bring your child. We'll even have a child care center where if you need to change a diaper or you need to breastfeed, there's space for that. But it's a space that is curated to the needs of women in the sense that we bring together the solutions that address the challenges that women have in business. So things like access to finance, informality of the businesses. There are services there to make sure, or business clinics there to make sure that you're doing your business right, but also that you're taking care of the challenges that you have in the business, whether it's the access to the market by bringing you to a marketplace, access to information, access to skilling, but also very importantly, since this is within the Young Africa Works project, which PSFU is implementing, we bring together the partners who are also implementing this project, and they're able to showcase the opportunities they have for young women. So in previous Katales, we started in 2022 in Luwero district. And at the time we had about 100 entrepreneurs showcasing their businesses, but we also had thousands walking in and coming to see these businesses, but also buy from them. It was quite exciting, and they asked us to, at that time, they asked us to come again, but we wanted to share this experience somewhere else. So we took it last year in 2023, we brought it to Kampala, specifically at the Uma Showgrounds, and this time it was overwhelming. We had 250 businesses exhibiting because that's as much as we could handle. And young women were really excited. They got to know a lot of opportunities. Some of them actually registered businesses. Some got teens. Some actually had opportunities. They got registered with business and work opportunities during that event. We had many young women also making sales, quite about 292 recorded having made sales, and up to about, let me say, about 15% of them sold more than 1 million.
There's one pertinent issue that has to come out when you're discussing issues of business in this country, and now that we are even talking about the women, then it really has to come out. It's a cost of money, access to affordable financing, patient capital. In this entire Katale discussion, does it feature anywhere?
Yes, certainly. Of course, there are other challenges, social-cultural challenges that hinder women in business, but the one you've mentioned, financing, some of the projects that we are working with, or the partners that we are working with on the Young Africa Works strategy, have specific financing solutions directed at women, and they will also be at the Katale. So we are going to have, for instance, the High Innovator being implemented by NSSF. And again, they will be inviting young women to be involved in their programs, which involve building capacity in businesses, but also getting seed funding for those who have interesting ideas. We are going to also have the MSC Recovery Fund. That one is being implemented by Financial Sector Deepening Uganda. And again, they're going to be showcasing the opportunities for financing available through their project. All of these are curated, taking into account the challenges women have in accessing finance. So some of these are really friendly in the sense that they don't request collateral. They are cognizant of the spaces where young women are already actively saving, so like their VSLAs and so on. But we will also be preparing young women to take on even greater challenges in conventional financing, whether it's within circles and so on. So we are preparing them not just to survive as women, but to be competent as businesses in this country.
Key sectors that you'll be focusing on this, of course, last time during the launch I was here, and of course there was that conversation about opportunities in the tourism industry, the entire value chain. Are there 4 or 5 key sectors that you'll be focusing on in this Katale in Jinja? Yeah,
I'll take it from where you started. Tourism sector, because as we know, Jinja is the adventure hub of this country.
I know.
And attracts a lot of tourists. Yes. But we now want to look inward and say, we want to invite tour operators, for instance. Come to Jinja, showcase your packages, your products. But of course, keeping in mind that these are young people. We are celebrating women as well. We have to keep our prices friendly, but also curating an experience for Ugandan. As we know, when we close the economy, it's only Ugandans who will still be here.
Yes.
So yeah, let's think about marketing to them. So we really invite the tour operators to take advantage of that opportunity. In addition, of course, because the region is also highly agricultural in nature, we would like to see more of that also happening, which is why for the businesses within the region in Busoga, please, please, please join the event. We will really have a space, and you'll find actually one of the projects that we are working with is just going to be launching, has launched, sorry, of recent, and so is going to be launching their work opportunities, showcasing their work opportunities specifically for Busoga region during that event, and they're in the thousands. So young women who are looking for work, this is really the time. Of course, we are also open to other opportunities, but those are just a few I can mention. Yes.
First Katale, second Katale, third Katale. Any projection? How does the future look like for this initiative? Do we have a time frame of when we're going to end, or it is a broad initiative that can go on for a generation?
Well, first of all, Katale is a 3-day event, but it's not. We're not going to leave it at 3 days. It's really a chance for us to go out really loud, celebrate our women, but also tell them solutions are available for you. And you can find them, they're ongoing, all these different projects, all the different financiers and partners have initiatives aimed at young women. We want this, as we've done consecutively for 3 years, we want to continue this as long as PSFU exists. Yes, we get really positive stories every time we've done this. Most recently in 2023, some of the feedback we got was that young women were really happy for the opportunity to, because during the exhibition, each one gets an opportunity. We pass the mic around, and each one gets an opportunity to say, I am so and so, my business is this, I do this, I'm located here, if you need partners. So that platform, that stage, especially coming out of COVID-19, was really appreciated. So we want to just grow that, replicate it, but also to grow the impact we've had in terms of creating work opportunities, in terms of registering businesses, in terms of closing deals for financing and so on. So yes, it will continue.
Is there a way the Katale is connecting to the World Women's Day celebration that is taking place?
Yes, absolutely. We use that opportunity of Katale to recognize the achievements, the struggles or the efforts of young women or women really in this country. So that comes out as a platform where we amplify all the different things that we do in those days. But one of the ways that we do that is by drawing our event theme from the International Women's Day theme. So this year, for instance, our theme will be bridging economic divides for prosperity of women in Uganda. So that is also related to the International Women's Day theme for this year. And so we're just going to leave that. We're going to make that come alive through the Katale 2024.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Cecilia, and we'll catch up in Jinja.
Yes.
Definitely, we'll be there with the entire crew.
Thank you for having us.
This is something that as bankers, as you can understand, are being, we are regularly discussing. We've also had the benefit of a very transparent Bank of Uganda who we engage with. Typically what happens in the first quarter of the economy is that a lot of our profits, dividends are going out. The international investors are looking at other markets to invest in. So we've had quite a bit of, settlements to make, including the government has, of course, taken international loans. So it's going to be a stretching period, but we are very confident about the shilling. We are very confident about the Ugandan economy. The minister just spoke about the growth opportunities in Uganda. I think what we need to also do is continue to focus on the pillars of growth. And that's where private sector has to continue to play a bigger role. I was very involved in a conference day before yesterday. We were talking about sustainability. We were talking about electrical vehicles. Electrical vehicles itself has a $500 million opportunity of investment in Uganda. We've just got to fast track. We've got to make sure the right policies are in place because the confidence on Uganda is strong. So we have to be ready at every time. So The shilling is in a tight spot. Like I said, I explained why the reason is. But I think continue to have confidence, and from the government side we need to continue to have the right policies being fast forwarded, so we can have the investments coming in.
Kenchik Hatchery opened a 13.3 billion shillings plant in the Greater Kampala metropolitan area. The plant has taken the battle for customers to the doorstep of local producers. The state-of-the-art hatchery features tonight in our Sounds of Business. Enjoy. The month of March reminds us to celebrate the women in our communities. Take some time to deliberately appreciate and support their endeavors that positively impact our societies. Otherwise, thank you for being a part of this episode of the Weekly Business Roundup. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold. Catch us on the next, same time, same place. From the team, we must say good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The International Women's Day was first celebrated in Uganda on 8th March 1984 at State House Entebbe, and since then This remarkable day has been commemorated and celebrated every year. This year, the national celebrations will highlight the progress women and girls have made in reducing poverty, pursuing their economic empowerment, and contributing to national development. Under the theme, Accelerating Gender Equality Through Women Economic Empowerment, the celebrations will take place on Friday, 8 March 2024 at Bomba Grounds, Katakwi District in eastern Uganda. Happy Women's Day to strong, intelligent, talented, and simply wonderful women.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Your Excellency, the President of Uganda, the Honorable Minister for the Presidency, Honorable Babaranda, the Director Nali and your team, Ms. Helen Seku, the Commissioner for Youth Affairs, our participants, the head teachers, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. Your Excellency, I want to thank you for never failing to make the time out of your busy schedule to meet with the teachers from whichever region of our country. Therefore, we thank you for coming this time to meet this cohort from the Western region who are here for patriotism training and ideological orientation. Thank you. I sincerely appreciate your continuous guidance to the education sector and your availability whenever we call upon you to facilitate our capacity building programs. Before you here today are the frontline managers of our education system, who are charged with the responsibility to ensure that our schools function and that our children learn. They make decisions on a daily basis to enable teaching and learning to take place in schools across the country. Therefore, I'm very happy that they are here to acquire additional knowledge and skills and tools to enable them to handle their work effectively, and they strive to serve their country selflessly and contribute positively to national development. Your Excellency, you have always emphasized that one of the bottlenecks to development is an undeveloped human resource, a problem that must be addressed in order for us to attain a knowledgeable, skilled, and patriotic population. Furthermore, Your Excellency, as you are aware, the Minister of Education and Sports is charged with the responsibility for human resource development for our country. So over the years, we have promoted several reform initiatives to ensure that quality education is equitably accessible to all children of Uganda. You have also emphasized the need to have a citizenry that are knowledgeable and that love their country, because this motivates them to commit to do their best for the nation. Consequently, I thank the National Secretariat for Patriotism for promoting patriotic values in schools, and I must now express my gratitude to you for bringing on board head teachers from all regions of Uganda. In order to strengthen the efforts to inculcate patriotic values to our youth through the established patriotism clubs in schools, it is very important that the head teachers are empowered to coordinate these efforts through the school system. We should be able to develop youth who understand the purpose of their existence, who love their country, and are prepared to defend and transform it. I'm therefore pleased that the head teachers have all undergone this mindset change program, and it is my hope and prayer that we will now see the impact of our efforts in our schools. I believe that the head teachers gathered here this afternoon and all those that were trained in the past have now joined the cadre of enlightened citizens who are committed to their national service. We hope that they will aggressively promote the patriotic values of selflessness, of loyalty, responsibility, of discipline, of hard work, resilience, and sacrifice through their own work. To the head teachers, I thank God for each and every one of you. I'm aware of the great job that you are doing in your respective schools amidst the challenges that we all experience. I also congratulate you for successfully completing the academic year 2023, and I believe it's not too late to say Happy New Year to you all. I'd like to remind you that God has entrusted you with the stewardship of the younger generation. And I urge you to be role models for the teachers and the students you nurture in your schools. And they will surely emulate what they see you do more than what they hear you say. Please remember that. Together, slowly but surely, we will build a generation of citizens that are proud of their country and that can inspire those they interact with in their various communities to do the same. Now that this training has covered all the head teachers across the country, I'd like to remind all of you that being patriotic is a constitutional duty. If we inculcate these values within the schools, we will surely have not just very peaceful schools, but very clean schools with clean students, with perimeter green fences, so that your schools provide the kind of environment where all parents are proud to take their children. So let me re-emphasize the importance of making every effort to build a culture of patriotism and peaceful coexistence within the schools you manage and the communities that you live in. But patriotism comes at a cost. That means there is extra work that you must be willing to do